So we've got our basic shape here. Let's take a look at how we can start to detail this a little bit. So let's say we want to extend this out a little bit more. So we want to make sure that we're able to select faces. Now, if we're selecting single elements here, so a single point or a few points, but we don't want to do the control and do the lasso select. If we select this way, we're going to be selecting with the right mouse button. Same thing in object mode. To select objects, we're going to select them with the right mouse button, which is a little bit different if you've worked in other applications. But in this case, we'll go ahead and we'll select this end cap here. We can hit S if we want to kind of scale this down a little bit more. If we want to extrude this out, there's a few things we can do. So you can see that there are several extrudes right over here. If we click on this, you can see that there are several kinds of extrudes that we can do. Also here, extrude region, extrude individual, and so forth. We can also hit E to simply extrude that out, and S will allow us to kind of scale it down. If we hit Alt-E, that'll bring up these options, and so we can extrude a region or individual faces, so forth. But for this, it works well because it's just a single N-gon, and so we can kind of move this out, S to kind of scale it down a little bit. Now, to close it off, we really don't want to have an N-gon in our final product, and so what we'd really like to do is kind of draw some new edges across here. So let's hit A to drop that selection. And this is going to be the knife tool. And so if you see here, there's a knife right over here on the left. We can also activate that by hitting K. And then we can come up here, and I'm just going to draw across from one side all the way to the other, to those points. Okay. Try that again here. There we go. I just hit enter. And now let's take a look at the other kind of lines that we have here. So I want to draw down, I think, from the top to the bottom. So again, we'll hit K. Now we don't have to stop here, although you can, but we can just go ahead and come all the way across, and it'll automatically add that point in the middle. Now we still have several N-gons, so we can decide how to deal with those. Let's come all the way across in this way. And we'll do the same thing here. And then we can come from the top all the way down, crossing all of those, and you can see it automatically adds those in. And we'll do the same thing down here. Now we can select those polygons in the center and kind of move those out a little bit. Let's select this point, move it out, and then we can select these corners. And I'm just going to move those back a bit. Okay, and let's do the same thing right here on these, just to kind of round things off a little. So that helps us close in that back. Now on the front, we can do the same thing here. So we'll select the face here, and we can kind of get it into position if we want to kind of scale it down a little bit. Hit E to extrude that forward a little. And we can kind of think about the shape. So we're going to have these sort of arms coming off. So at this point, we need to start thinking about how we want the head. So we want to have this sort of open mouth. So we can start to think about that as we create our, or draw out our resolution here. So let's go ahead and get the knife. I'm just going to draw straight across from that point. So something like that. Let's go ahead and draw across here. All the way across. So something like that. And let's do the same thing up here at the top. So we're just kind of taking this N-gon, which made it really easy for us to kind of extrude this out and get us in position. But now we are kind of drawing out these lines so that it's not an N-gon anymore, but kind of a configuration of quads and or triangles. We're going to stay mostly quads, which are these four-sided polygons. Let's go ahead and draw down from the top all the way down to the bottom, making sure that we hit on that point. And then let's do one more, kind of the same thing that we did with the tail. We'll do that, and then do the same thing over here on this side. Okay, now we want to start building out the head, and so let's take these polygons right here, these top two rows. Let's extrude them out. So hit E to kind of pull that out. And let's actually just drop out of that with the A key. Then we'll hit E again and kind of extrude this out. So it gives us kind of a basic structure, not really the shape, but the structure of the head that we want. Okay, so now at this point you can come in and start to select these faces here, kind of pull these out a little bit. And we want to start to round things off. So come in here, pull those back a little. Think about the roundness of it, kind of pull those forward. If you try to come in and select around these, you're not going to get points that aren't visible unless you go into wireframe. So this will allow you to come in and select points that are kind of all the way through. And let's actually select that and deselect that. Control Shift. And then we can come in and maybe let's go to scale. I will just scale it out in the Y a little bit. So you just want to add a bit of shape to not only the top, but also the bottom. Okay, so let's do that, and then in the next lesson, we'll come in and finish detailing the inside of the mouth.